Hello, and welcome back to the Docking Bay 77 YouTube channel. I'm Amber Lewis, and if, like me, you're going through Artemis 2 withdrawal, and I had it on 24/7, the NASA live feed never stopped at our house. Um, I'm making up for the deficit by watching a bunch of what I call realistic space movies. There are plenty of movies set in outer space. We know this. But these films, some of them are, could be categorized as historical fiction. A few of them are works of pure fiction, but in all of them, the science holds up, which that was my criteria. So here is my top seven realistic space movies. Number seven, Contact from 1997, directed by Robert Zemeckis and starring Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey, and based on the book by one of my heroes, Carl Sagan. This film tells the story of a brilliant astronomer who has spent her career searching for signs of intelligent life in the universe and finally finds it. Carl Sagan consulted on the film to ensure the accuracy of the science, and the movie features one of my favorite lines of anything ever when Ellie says, "The universe is a pretty big place. So if it's just us, seems like an awful waste of space." Number six, Interstellar. Frequent listeners know how I love and adore Christopher Nolan, and this 2014 film of his stars Matthew McConaughey yet again and Jessica Chastain and tells the story of a group of astronauts that travel to another solar system near a black hole in search of a new planet to ensure humanity's survival when the Earth becomes inhabitable. My favorite scene in the entire movie is the docking scene, which comes about 2 hours into the movie. The screenplay is based on the works of theoretical physicist Dr. Kip Thorne, who consulted on the film and insisted that nothing would violate established physical laws and that any wild speculations would have to spring from science. As such, this movie has the most realistic depiction of a black hole in film history. Number five, The Martian. This Ridley Scott film from 2015 stars Matt Damon and Jessica Chastain again, and is based on the novel by Andy Weir, who also wrote the novel that this year's hit film Project Hail Mary is based on. Weir wrote The Martian, which was his first published novel, to be as scientifically accurate as possible, doing extensive research into orbital mechanics, conditions on the planet Mars, and the history of human spaceflight and botany. Ridley Scott keeps the science largely intact while also developing characters that you fall in love with as they all work together to rescue astronaut Mark Watney after he is inadvertently stranded on Mars. Number four, The Right Stuff. From 1983, directed by Philip Kaufman and starring just about every actor you can think of at the beginning of their careers, including Sam Shepard, Scott Glenn, Ed Harris, and Dennis Quaid. This movie is based on the book by Tom Wolfe and tells the story of the beginning of the United States space program, from test pilots breaking the sound barrier to the Mercury 7 missions. There are dramatic liberties taken with historical events, but the use of historical footage and the unbridled enthusiasm for space exploration make up for any inaccuracies. Number three, Apollo 13. Ron Howard's 1995 film stars Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, and Ed Harris again. and tells the story of the explosion on the Apollo 13 mission to the moon and the teamwork in the spacecraft and at mission control that led to the safe return of the astronauts to Earth. The cast and crew flew approximately 612 parabolic arcs in NASA's KC-135 airplane in order to film scenes in actual weightlessness. And it's that kind of attention to detail and dedication to accuracy that make this film a celebration of the ultimate example of people coming together to work the problem and bring the crisis to a successful conclusion. Number two, First Man. 2018 gave us Ryan Gosling's first portrayal of an astronaut in this film about Neil Armstrong and the lead up to and successful completion of the Apollo 11 moon landing. Armstrong's sons said that Gosling and Claire Foy's performances were the most accurate portrayals they'd seen of their parents. Director Damien Chazelle was determined to make this film as authentic as possible and based the screenplay on James R. Hansen's 2005 book, First Man, The Life of Neil A. Armstrong, and it goes a long way toward helping us understand the enigmatic personality of the first man to walk on the moon. We have, as always, a couple of honorable mentions. The first one is Space Camp. This 1986 film is a Gen X classic starring Kate Capshaw, Leah Thompson, and a 12-year-old Joaquin Phoenix in his feature film debut. It tells the story of a group of kids who attended the U.S. space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, and get accidentally launched into space during an engine test on the space shuttle Atlantis. The film did poorly at the box office after being released just 5 months after the Challenger disaster. It's also almost impossible to find. But if you come across a copy somewhere, it's a fun story and a fond memory of the excitement of the shuttle program. And please, dear God, send us a message on our socials and let me know where I can find it, because so far I've been coming up with nothing. The other honorable mention is a documentary on Netflix called Mercury 13. I have been a follower of the space program like my entire life. This is like a family thing. And I was like today years old when I learned that there were 13 women astronaut candidates during the Mercury program, and misogyny kept them on the ground. This documentary really celebrates their achievements and then shows how they paved the way for women like Sally Ride and Eileen Collins, and even now Christina Cook, to go into space and go around the moon. So check that out. It is streaming on Netflix. And finally, my number one choice is Hidden Figures from 2016 and starring Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer, and Janelle Monáe. This film is based on the book Hidden Figures, The True Story of Four Black Women and the Space Race by Margot Lee Shetterly. This is the space movie on this list with the least amount of space in it, but it is the true story of the contributions of mathematicians Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, and Mary Jackson to the success of the space program. And it is inspiring to see the historical accuracy of women participating at the highest levels from the earliest days of NASA, when most films only show women as wives or secretaries when they are shown at all. And if, like me, you enjoyed the Artemis mission and were in awe of the fact that they successfully brought the capsule back to Earth within like 2 minutes of their target time and within 1 mile of their target landing area, you just know, like, my God, Katherine Johnson was a steely-eyed missile man. So that's my list of top 7 realistic space movies. Have you seen these films? What would be on your list? Do you know where I can find a copy of Space Camp? Please let us know in the comments and be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We are also on social media at Docking Bay 77 Pod on Facebook and Twitter, so we can keep the conversation going there as well. If you're enjoying our YouTube content, head over to our Patreon, where you can get exclusive content and early access to our podcast episodes. So until next time, God bless NASA, God bless our astronauts, read more books, listen to more music, watch more movies, and remember that physical media is better than streaming.